Hello YouTube and welcome back to The Zone, where today guys we have got another Chris Chan article coming to you right now. Chris and journalism. But before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you guys something very interesting. By the time we're done today, the only articles we've got left to do are the internet, anger, ego, nostalgia, politics, negotiate. Let me try that again. Internet, anger, ego, nostalgia, politics, negotiation, art. Well, actually, no, art contest. We've got 7 more articles to go. And we will go over several other key articles in the future, but we might actually start wanting to maybe wind down a little bit on Chris because of what is known about Chris and where this is most likely to lead. Chris and journalism. So let's continue. Chris's recent failings have been helped by Quickie. Gather more information on this article. Be a winner by adding this information in. Harry Partridge. There must be more written about Chris Chan than George Washington. That is actually true. Throughout most of his life, Chris has been the subject of journalism, reporting, and paparazzi, and internet trolling. Whether he's aware of it or not, every aspect of his life is documented on the internet, on sites like the Kiwi Farms, Encyclopedia Dramatica, and this one. The reason for this largely due to his own willingness to openly admit and display his most embarrassing moments at the most inopportune times. I don't know why I had such a problem saying that. Although Chris himself is reluctant to admit this fact, as a result, Chris has received much attention from amateur journalists and forums, online or otherwise. And you can see there's a lot to go through here. So this is gonna go through the beginning, but well, I say a lot, but it's more or less kind of very lightly condensed. Documentation on the internet. Believe it or not, the curiosity of Chris's life was pretty much what got the ball rolling in the first place, for where Chris is today in terms of his fame on the internet. It all started when a curious troll just learned about Chris and his oddball lifestyle on 4chan, and therefore wanted to document it on Encyclopedia Dramatica to make fun of it. This could have been the end of it if Chris simply handled this maturely and just simply ignored the page as a whole. I would have said the exact same thing, or even if people were harassing him anyway, he could have just gone to the administrators and just said, this is hate speech, this is derogatory, I don't like this, can you please make this go away? He could have literally have just done that to have saved his life spiraling out of control. However, of course, he takes a completely unexpected route, and not only gives the trolls a good laugh, but even reveals a lot of new information about himself. Stuff that he should never have released. Something awful. The place where the internet first properly discovered Chris. Several forums were made about him merely days after his introduction. Chris seems to have not noticed this, however. Well, considering the documentaries made, I'm going to assume that he must have realized at some point. 4chan. Chris began getting attention on 4chan only days after, and knowledge of Chris was gained even more so here. This site ultimately led to the creation of his article on Encyclopedia Dramatica. Encyclopedia Dramatica. The start of Chris's infamy and years of being trolled, several times. Chris has attacked and vandalized the site, which gave us the infamous "She Came for CWC" and several more details about him. Quickie. Chris doesn't hide his disdain for the Quickie, having created several accounts and complained about it rather frequently. However, he largely pays no attention to it nowadays. Maybe he just doesn't... Which, that strikes me as very strange, because I think if somebody was going to write stuff about me, I think I would have I'd have as much the biggest right more than anyone to know exactly what people were saying about me. Fortunately enough, I'm not nearly as big as Chris to start, for people to write forums about me, so I think... Although, considering what it could have led to in terms of Chris, maybe it's for the better. Wikipedia. Chris treated Wikipedia like MySpace and Facebook, turning his user page into an autobiography of his life, a violation of Wikipedia's rules. That's just another one we could add to the list. Other than getting his account terminated for this reason, he has also unknowingly journalized his entire life up to his discovery of Encyclopedia Dramatica, even if parts of it were blatant lies. This means Chris gave the general public clues for them to be able to piece together how Chris became screwed up enough to warrant his own Encyclopedia Dramatica page, as well as the basics of as well as the basics as to how Chris thinks life should roll were to fit his standards, given Encyclopedia Dramatica and the Quickie a lot to work with. The Wikipedia. Since Chris was busy screwing with other wikis and started ranting about how he got banned from every single one because of it, Cogs Dev, being a good sport, decided to make a special wiki just for him, where Chris can document as much of his personal life as he so desires. Chris primarily used this wiki to work on the autobiography he desired to share on the internet, make rants about things that bothered him, talk about things he loves, talk about fan-made works, and makes updates on some of his own projects, such as his Sonichu comics and his Little Big Planet levels. Interestingly enough, despite not being Cogs Dev's intention, people got to learn more about Chris as he expressed more about his life and opinions that anyone would have originally bargained for. This continued for a couple of months until the entire wiki was disabled due to massive amounts of vandalism done to its pages. Well, at least Cog tried to do the right thing in this. Kiwi Farms, again, maybe that's just going to be another one for another... Actually, I'll tell you what, unless there's a lot to this, then... Actually, I'll tell you what, we'll do the Kiwi Farms now anyway, just so while there's... Because the main article is quite short, and this one isn't much different. Thanks a lot for you goddamn bunch of Bastodius children. Her life is ruined, and it was my fault for trying to make peace with you lot. I really wish I never created this new account and tried to reach out. Chris posting on Kiwi Farms. And you can tell it's Chris because of his avatar right here, complete with his medallion, because you know it had to be. Previously existing as a Chris-focused message board in various iterations, in February 2015, the Quickie forms were consolidated into the Kiwi Farms, an extremely controversial site which focuses on locales, peoples and groups whose eccentricity or foolish behavior can be milked for amusement and laughs. In general, and not just for CWC, the new name came the way several locales mispronounced Quickie forms. On the 4th of October, a user going by the name Legendary Christorian began a thread on the Christian Western Chandler board on the forum. While a few speculated about it being a ween, Noel, the head admin, quickly confirmed that it was indeed Chris. Under this account, Chris received questions to which he responded in a live-streamed Q&A video. His motivation for joining and holding the Q&A was to reach out to trolls and to try to satiate their curiosity about his life by answering their questions, in the hopes they wouldn't bother Jessica Quinn. However, since Quinn was herself a troll, the interaction with the farms instead proved instrumental in her breaking up with Chris on the 5th of October, after which he made a final angry post on the forum before cursing it in another video. Posts. Good day, people. Pin this to the top. Your combined dream is realized, for I am the Miss Christine Weston Chandler, and I'm here to address my followers, bad ones included, and forgiven. Just do not talk more mockery, smack, or anything I would not initially say against me. I came here today to begin to indirectly taking on any applicable and acceptable questions about myself. No personal details, mind you. But there is a catch. A simple price for my attendance here to answer your little big questions. Firstly, none of you, nor any of your associates, friends, allies, etc. will ever contact, nor mal-tweet, nor mal-comment any and all of my friends, family, and associates. This especially includes my sweetheart. I understand you all have a common desire, my happiness and good fortune. Not sure if that's all of them, Chris. And This goes appreciated very much, but the happiness of my closest ones are most important to me. Again, I'm not sure about that either. As for face-to-face, offline, should any of you catch me at such a moment, I ask that none of you follow or stalk me, unless you are courageous enough to greet me kindly and share a pleasant moment. In the company of my sweetheart, such stalking is most questionable. I will have little to no discomfort upon anyone else in my presence. Consider my personal space and person a safe space. I will personally not tolerate any malcontent within mine or any of my friends, family, or associates' total local space. Jesus Christ, this goes on for a little bit, doesn't it? I will come onto here once a week, take down some questions, and I will answer them on a live streaming video soon after. I am in development of making this the limited time routine. One FAQ I will address right now, so it will not be repeated in my single thread on here. Why don't you get a job? Why don't you take more responsibility? Why don't you just grow up already? Okay, this ought to be funny. Obviously, those who ask this and these questions likely are already employed themselves. He's saying this likely, he doesn't know for certain, or are spoiled in their own individual lives. Again, spoiled, Chris, you would know a thing or two about that. And do not appreciate how tough it is to simply get a job. I have a ton and shitloads of responsibilities, worries, here at home, caretaking my mother, dogs, cats, and my own passion of my electric hedgehog Pokemon family, my city of Quickville, my only me physical connection to my family and friends there in that dimension. So I'll be darned if I do not already have enough on my plate at most given times, as they are at those respective moments, and I have matured emotionally and mentally, more than you could ever imagine. Has he though? And I do have a great empathy skill. Again, no he doesn't. So I am fully capable of putting myself into any of your individual shoes. No, Chris, you don't have that either. Also, I would very much appreciate being addressed and referred to in the female pronouns. From now on, not only in this thread, but all threads. And my name is Christine. Chris or Chris Chan is also acceptable when addressing me. Mainly remember, please, that I am a woman. Did Miss I am woman forget a in between am and woman? I will leave you all for a moment with these words. My time and presence on these forums of yours are not to troll any of you. I will not bully anyone, and I certainly have not, nor will ever harass anyone. I can and will offer kindness and support on the safe online areas of my Twitter, Facebook, or similar social pages where I do frequent in the typing form of communication or sharing. I am a person, just like each and every one of you, but I am better than to sink to a trolling level, despite any and all pastimes I have the felt need to do. And those will not be brought up again, if you all will please. My information past and present shared may go towards making a better documentary or series of my characters. Use common sense and love. My stories are not dark, yes they are, and aside from my trial at Saucy Tidbits, the main targeted age rating is TV Y7 and above. Y7. I encourage fan creativity, stylish arts as individually possible, but also retro style and in younger skill levels for those who are in that age range or matured along in that age range. What the fuck is he even talking about? Let us all make a brighter and better future, not only for me, but for everyone. I care for and about very much from my heart and soul. Love is love. I thank you all for the understanding, compassionate, kindness, and respect. To each and every one of you, with all due respect, I wish you a great safe day. Sincerely, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to assume this is the next one that came out. 5th of October, and when was this released? 4th of October. Okay, so the very next day he wrote this. I curse each and every one of you all to hell and back, and hell again. Thanks a lot, you goddamn bunch of bastardous children. Her life is ruined, and it was my fault for trying to make peace with you all. I really wish I never created this new account. Good fucking bye. Okay. Lurking. Chris doesn't read your post. A somewhat inaccurate line from the Ford guidelines. Much like the Quickie forums, Chris has occasionally been known to lurk on Kiwi forums. In 2015, after posting some photos to Facebook showing what he believed to be progress on his gender transition, Chris viewed the forum thread on it and was elated when a user commented, "He looks like a D-cup now." In August 2017, Chris, feeling refreshed after his trip to BronyCon, browsed the thread on it. On Facebook, he made a few posts responding to commentary and thanking users for featuring his photos. In the same year, he referred to the random Chris updates thread to help prove a Ween was trying to impersonate Doopy. In October 2017, Chris stated that he believed Jessica Quinn was not a troll because conversations between them hadn't been leaked, and he specified that he had not seen any such leaks on the forums. Forum ratings. Chris also rated several of Doopy Doorover's posts from the end of the Jessica Quinn saga. The ones he has rated so far, like, at least that would be more interesting than goddamn shitfest. Like, I know I said I wouldn't come back and post this, but the whole saga is really upsetting me. While I don't agree with a lot of the trolling and fucking with him for the lols, this is going too far. Right, sorry about that. Even if it's supposed to be a troll, this is pretty fucked up and it hurts to watch. I can't stand to see someone with a disability be emotionally abused and manipulated like this. She's not even a funny troll. She could have at least gone on the date they planned, but she dipped out because she's a pussy. I actually feel really bad for Chris. Optimistic. At this point, do you really think he's capable of growing and learning? I think we should just draw a veil on that part there. So anyway, let's continue. Interviews with Chris. Over the course of Chris's life, he has experienced many fascinating events and received plenty of attention, mostly for bad. Naturally, this piques the curiosity of others, and this has accumulated in many interviews. With Chris, whether through the internet or in the flesh, as of October 2017, he will only do an interview if he's going to be paid for it. Want to interview me? You may now. Accepting paid interviews. Email, Solitude Manager, payment first and upfront. He says, ! He demands that you pay him. An interview with the Chris Chan. On the 17th of October 2018, Chris was granted his first official interview with his rise to fame on the PlayStation Network. Chris Chan Discusses. Chris Chan Discusses is a series of interviews where Larry Bundy Jr., also known as Guru Larry, asks Chris questions that he usually avoids answering. Arthur Spatchcock. Roughly 8 years after his PSN interview, Cat Knight Master Disaster, aka Arthur Spatchcock, interviewed Chris posing as an interested English interpreter. Lil E. On the 8th of October 2016, September, a YouTube user by the name of Lil E interviewed Chris at the End Games. The same individual, this time using his Bravery Jerk account, interviewed Chris a second time at Seville Pride 2016. Merry Weathery. On the 4th of September 2017, Twitter user Merry Weatherly contacted Chris for an interview. After abandoning the first take for being too boring, he recorded a second interview on the 4th of October, which he found to be superior and released it a few days later. Satsumo. On the 21st of October 2017, Satsumo, the creator of the documentary, conducted an interview with Chris. Copper Cab. After parodying Gingers Have Souls, Copper Cab decided to parody his Chop Chop Master Onions rap showdown and conduct an interview with Chris on the 23rd of October. Kopitz. After visiting Chris a week prior, Kopitz interviewed Chris while visiting Charlottesville on the 26th of May 2018. Count Dankula. Famed YouTuber Count Dankula interviewed Chris on the 5th of June 2018 with questions from Quickie Forums. Jackson Dalton. In an effort to kickstart his YouTube channel, Jackson Dalton conducted an interview with Chris Chan on the 4th of January 2019 and posted it as his first video 4 days later. Pappy Van Poodle is another thing, and Chris in the News. Besides gaining attention on social media, Chris's life story is sometimes broadcasted on public news. An infamous example of this is the story of the destruction of his house on the 10th of January, which I believe we can check out. Let's just... I got a better idea. I'm pretty sure it must have ended up on the news. I think here it is.
Greene County investigators are looking into the cause of a house fire early this morning. It started at about 3 o'clock this morning at a home on Branchland Court. That's in the southern part of the county. We're told the fire started in a first-floor bathroom, but got quickly out of control and eventually shot through the roof. Everybody inside was able to get out safely, but one firefighter suffered minor injuries. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. We have a traffic advisory for driving.
And I believe... I think the house just attempted suicide. Okay. CWC's mom's the house on fire. No matter, it's just my haters. Yeah, and I think you can, I think you could have probably have worked out exactly what was the cause of that. It's pretty hard not to at this point. Chris as a journalist. Oh no. These days, everyone's a journalist. And Chris is no exception. Chris has always had a compulsion to document his own life, only talking about topics that affect him, and only using his publications to further express himself. During his trials and tribulations on college, he took it upon himself to publish a newsletter. Funnily enough, his style is reminiscent of yellow journalism, being categorized by little regard for conventional journalistic ethics or consistency, scarce headlines in huge print, often on minor news, lavish use of pictures or imaginary drawings, use of faked interviews, misleading headlines, pseudoscience, and a parade of false learning from so-called experts. Emphasis on full-color Sunday supplements, usually with comic strips, conflicts of interests, topics that affect the author directly, a big no-no in journalism, except in opinion pieces, dramatic sympathy with the underdog against the system. Chris being Chris also incorporates elements from tabloid journalism, such as sensational crime stories, gossip columns about celebrities and sports stars, junk food news. After watching Sachumo's documentary about him, Chris gave his own ideas about the production of a similar piece. To the surprise of no one, he wanted to focus more on the positives, like the people whose lives have been made better by interacting with him. I just want to go through one quick thing on the thing here. The one other one they have to add on here is Leftover Media. He is the guy who who issued me my very first copyright strike, and given what I've seen of his channel, it's very obvious to assume exactly why he did it. And given the state of the rest of his channel, it's going to be safe to assume that I don't think he wanted any more attention brought to his own channel, because some of the things he's written about are absolutely ridiculous. But aside from that, that is actually Chris and journalism. If I had to give my complete honest opinion about this, maybe it's possibly better that I'm not as well known as George Washington. Only because, well, I think at first you have to be quite infamous on the internet first for people to take an interest, and then, well, the problem is that I'm not even really that infamous. I just make videos and go from there. I am nowhere near as big as Chris. And you know what? I think if I could get through the rest of my life knowing that, then I think actually there are worse things that can happen in this world than being as famous / infamous as Chris. So take that what you will, and in case you are worried about being famous yourself, or feel as if it's just never going to happen, well, with a bit of work, a bit of consistency, and a little bit of luck here and there, you possibly could be famous, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, just don't let it go to your head or use it to do what Chris does. Maybe Chris is just like Chris is like just one of those persons where this is 100% exactly what not to do in a situation. So take that what you will, or possibly not. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed Chris and journalism. Please make sure to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys thought of the reading yourselves. Please also make sure to also like and subscribe to get daily notifications when my videos come out. And I hope to love you guys again in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye for now.